Hi, almost everyone is watching my channel without a subscription. Please support me and subscribe. I release videos every day for you. Story 1. My ex-husband became my sister's husband. I hid it from my family. Now they do it. I don't want to go into all the details because it is long, boring, and still painful, some bits at least. But I met my ex 4 years ago, and I at least was madly in love with him. For 2 years, I was blissfully happy until I took him home for Christmas, and I caught him making out with my sister. It devastated me. My ex tried to apologize, kept trying to get me back, but I didn't want anything to do with him anymore, and 3 months later my sister and he were expecting their first. Now, they're married with 2 children. My family forgave them eventually when children were in the picture. I kept my distance, but I have met them on the occasional family gathering. I still feel hurt by my sister, but other than then, I'm good. Last weekend, my mom asked me to come home for something urgent, and there was my dad too. They told me that they were disappointed in me for not being honest about my ex being abusive. I was shocked, but my mom told me that he is very abusive to my sister. That's when my sister came to my parents, and I saw her face and cut lip. I was shocked, and I really couldn't say anything other than that I never knew. My sister became very upset and started yelling at me, asking what the F I meant by that. That I was so much better than her that he didn't hurt me. I said no, but no amount of swearing that I didn't know, and that he must have hidden his true nature. My mom told me to leave and that she was very disappointed. I'd have cried every day now, remembering my sister's face, but I just don't know why this happened to her. He was so very kind and gentle with me, but I can't explain why he was that way. I don't know how people like him work, but according to my sister, if he is abusive, then he is abusive all the time. I have no experience with people this way. I couldn't answer her. He has been abusive to her since the beginning of their relationship. When I calmed down, I texted my mother because she wasn't answering my calls that my sister is right and abusive people are just abusive, but that maybe the circumstances may be different. My sister is younger. I knew that some men show their true colors after marriage or after children, etc. My relationship with him wasn't of the same nature. I tried every explanation, but this just seemed to trigger her further because she texted me back that I'm a liar that hid the truth from them instead of warning my sister. She asked if I thought I was better than my sister not to have been abused by the same man. I was shocked. Like it is about the woman? Better women get abused less? I couldn't believe what I was reading. I texted her that she was disgusting to say something like this, but I regretted it so much. Now nobody from my family is talking to me, not even my father, who I talk to on a daily basis. I don't know what to do or how to help. I really need help explaining why my sister's husband is what he is. I feel so guilty. Update. Hello again, this is an update. I am so sorry that I went silent after posting here, but I actually wrote my post very late at night and fell asleep afterwards. When I logged in the next day, the post was locked and I couldn't answer any of you. I want to thank you for the attention that you've given me because I have been so lonely. I have read all of your comments and I have answered as many DMs that I could. I'm sorry for not being able to answering everyone. I see that cutting all contact with my family is the most common advice that I got, and you are probably right. It is time for me to move on. I never completely and wholeheartedly forgiven my family for accepting my sister's betrayal, but I understood that my parents wanted to be in their grandchildren's lives, and I would never have wanted the children to be deprived of the love of grandparents since they are innocent in all of this, but at the same time, I needn't however like or accept their forgiveness. I just love my family, and losing my sister was a hard blow. I just didn't want to lose the rest of the family. I kept my distance, however, beside from my brother, 30 meters. I don't think I mentioned him in my original post. I'm still close to him. Many of you also asked about why my family didn't see the fact that my sister's husband cheated with my own sister as a red flag. This is the first thing I asked my mom, but her answer was very disappointing, so I didn't even think to include it in my original post. She just made it about me needing to get over it and to let go of my grudge. I have felt some type of guilt because I only talked positively about him before I introduced him to my family. About his generosity and kindness. He treated me like a queen and his family took me in with warmth. He went out of his way to make me happy and all the dreams we shared about our future together. The places we would visit, and I was so happy when he expressed how he couldn't wait to spend the rest of his life with me. Maybe this is a red flag. I was so happy with him, and that is all my sister heard me talk about since I met him. With all this in mind, I totally understood my sister and her reluctance to believe me, that he showed another side, if yet his real side, with her, especially when I know that she is in a very vulnerable place right now. I thought I would be understanding and reach out to her once again. I explained everything that I wrote to my mom in the post here, that he probably always been what he was. I got so many stories of girls written to me here about their experience with abuse and how and why it started. I sent my sister the screenshots with the girl's permission. My sister is 7 years younger than him, while I am only 11 months younger. I didn't live with him. I didn't have any children with him, and I wasn't relying on him to provide for my children, since I didn't need to stay at home to raise children. All in all, I sent about 30 Instagrams dumps explaining. After 3 hours, my sister sent me a very short reply: "I know that you are sleeping with him, you've king y*, read," and she blocked me. I didn't even cry this time. Today, my brother asked me that he wanted to see me. He came to me after work. He said that my sister had sent everything that I have written to her to the rest of the family, and that she was raging mad. My parents are angry with me for distressing her more than she already was. My brother told me to cut my losses and lay low. You can't help her because she just wants to blame her misery on somebody. From what my brother had gathered from my mom and sister, her husband has been violent with her since she refused to terminate her first pregnancy. So the abuse started just a few months into their relationship. My sister was growing more paranoid with time that her husband would cheat on her with me, and probably others. But that was the reason she always disproportionately hated me. She hated me because she always thought that I would try to get back at her by taking him back because I still was single and had moved on. It got worse because she always asked him why he was gentler towards me, and he told her that it was because I wasn't a cheap real like her, which made her believe we still had contact. She also found his secret Instagram account where he followed some girls, me included. It hurt me to hear all of this, but as my brother said, I can't do anything. She refuses to leave him even with my parents' urge and assurance that they could take care of her and her children. I'm heartbroken for her, but I don't think I can do anything. I'm cutting my family out of my life, and that's my final decision. ETA, I saw many of you calling me a doormat. I mean, I know you mean well, but how juvenile to use such terms. I'm neither a doormat nor do I lack self-respect. I held my head high when I suffered pain from a betrayal very few of you can relate to, so forgive me when I say I don't respect your childish behavior. Be better. Comment. I'd actually have already been very low contact with my sister. I've only seen her a few times, like my cousin's wedding and family gatherings. Never met her in private. She eloped, so there was no wedding. I wasn't going to attend, and I never went to her baby showers or anything. I've never texted her privately. I only have her on a group's iMessage with mom, dad, and lil bro, but now I'm going no contact with mom and dad too. I need a break. Comment. I'm almost 100% sure that he would have become abusive towards me too eventually, and that's what I tried to explain to my family, and I can't help but try to think back on our relationship, trying to remember what red flags I've missed. Comment. After the shock and the heartbreak, I felt lucky, but now, knowing how he is treating my sister, I wish he chose someone else to cheat on me with. Story 2. You whose ex-best friend has an affair with her ex-husband and few years later hires ODP to make birthday cake for their child. I, 33F, just wanted to share this with everyone who is going through a divorce or a heartbreak for a similar reason. I married someone who I love with all my heart. We met in college, and right after graduation we got married. I decided to stay home because my husband, 34M, made a lot of money. I gave him everything. Supported his business, cooked for him, cleaned for him. Basically babied him a lot because I was in love with him. I thought if I was a good wife and nurtured him, he would love me back. And for like 5 years it was good. I discovered he was cheating on me when I found a random receipt from a hotel. I investigated a little and found out he was in fact cheating on me. And his AP was my best friend Kelly, 31F. I was betrayed by 2 of my closest people. Kelly gave me a vague excuse that she didn't want to hurt me, but she just fell in love with him. His excuse was, "You do not make me feel special anymore. You have just got boring and let yourself go." I agree, I was a little chubby back then because of my medicines. Also, I was always tired to work out. I tried the path of reconciliation but failed. He left me for Kelly. This whole incident made me realize who are my real friends and who are fake ones. There were people who are neutral, but only 2 of them, Josh and Marie, were on my side and cut off Kelly. I was really devastated. I felt like without him, I was a no one. I lost my husband, my best friend, my house, my life. I stayed with Marie for a while. She offered me a small job in her catering business. I love food. When I was married, I would make different variety of food for my ex-husband. Cooking was just very therapeutic to me. During that time, Marie's mom gave me some useful advice. That is, an average human lives for 75 years. You are already 27. Are you that stupid that you want to waste the rest of your life being sad over a man who never loved you? That thing really stuck with me. I have trust issues because of my husband's infidelity. I had trouble dating, so I skipped it for a while. I focused on working on myself. I socialized with a lot of people while I was catering and made a lot of connections. I always wanted to start a business of my own. And since I loved creating food, a customer I was catering for actually gave me an idea to start a baking business. My friends also helped me a lot. I built a pretty small yet successful baking business within a couple of years. I started to feel more of myself now that I am free. I didn't realize I had so much free time in my hands because I wasn't busy taking care of a large human. My house was clean. No one is putting dirty laundry on the floor. No one is telling me to make something else because they are not in mood for a certain dish. Nobody puts dirty dishes on the sink. I started to embrace this solidarity. I know those things I mentioned are not something that is big, but it was a huge relief. Moreover, no one questions me whenever I go out. I don't have to answer anyone before going out. I can spontaneously go on a long drive, and I don't have to ask for permission. I learned a new language within my free time. I focused more on family and friends who genuinely love me, and getting dumped has made me see the red flags I missed in my marriages. I used it as a lesson to steer clear of any trash men in my life. I dated few men, but they didn't seem nice to me. But it didn't bother me a lot. I am happy being single and carefree. I see my divorce as a blessing to me rather than a curse. I do feel alone sometimes, but recently I got a call from Kelly saying that she regrets marrying my ex because he never appreciates her and always puts the burden of everything on her. They have 2 kids now, but my ex doesn't help her with any chores. She is always tired and exhausted after taking care of 2 kids and an adult. It just made me realize that it would have been me if my husband didn't cheat on me with Kelly. I simply told her, well, you said you loved him, so he is your problem now. What's the point of coming to me? That butch has the audacity to say she wanted a friend. I blocked her number. I don't want to be in their lives. Sometimes I feel like I missed my prime because I am now 33. It feels too old to start over, but I still have hope for love one day. I am currently dating a guy who is also divorced like me because his wife cheated on him. So we will see how that goes. Update: I, 33F, am in a bit of dilemma. You see, my ex-best friend, 31F, had an affair with my ex-husband, 34M, when we were married. Our friendship fell apart right over there. I didn't have any contact with her until a month ago. She called me and said she is not happy with her life. I have moved in with my life. I don't need their shenanigans. I run a small baking business. It is relatively new. I only take orders for cakes on occasions like birthdays, graduation, or reunion, except for weddings. I have some plans to expand it, and also have a dream to open a bakery of my own one day. A few days ago, I get an order from my ex-best friend. She wanted me to make desserts for her son's first birthday. And she doesn't just want me to make a birthday cake. She also wants a dessert section in the birthday party. It is a huge order, and the pay is good. It will be good for my business, but as you can see, she and I have a history. This made me question, why does she want me to do it? My ex comes from a well-to-do family. He also has a high-paying job. She could easily hire the best baker in town. Why does she want me to do it? My business is not that big. It made me feel like she is trying to grab my attention, or just trying to sabotage my business, or maybe she wants to talk to me after I shunned her the last time. On the other hand, the businesswoman inside me says to take it. I know I can do it. The party is huge. There will be many people from affluent background. I can promote my business to those people. It will boost my revenue as well. I am thinking if I just avoid her as much as possible, then it will be good. But oh no, I am stuck in between. I need some good advice. Update: Hi guys, I have read your advice and suggestions. You all made some really good points, so I decided to talk to my mom about it. I just needed her insights about this matter. She told me I should do what I want to do. My boyfriend also encouraged me to take the order. He says that if I had to stay to organize the dessert table, he would be there for me. I took the order, and it turns out it was my ex-husband's idea to hire me, because one of his colleagues recommended my services to him. And it was sort of short notice, so I had to rush this. Anyways, I kept it strictly about business. I did take the payment in advance, just like some of you have mentioned. I always asked for advance payments. I mostly maintained communication through email. I have an assistant who is also a family friend of mine to handle all communications. My ex-best tried many times to meet with me in person, but I told her to just email me because I do have cake orders for other people too. I only had to meet her one time in person regarding the order. She sent me the details of the party over the email, and like I mentioned, it was a huge order. I didn't just have to make a birthday cake for the baby. It is Pokemon themed. There were also cake pops, cupcakes, and macarons. Luckily, I had my friend Marie over for some help. Yes, I did pay her. So like usual, I went to deliver the cakes and other stuff for the party. There was already a table set at the venue. My boyfriend, Josh, 35M, came with me to support me and to keep me away from my ex-husband and ex-spouse as much as possible. As I was busy with myself, my ex approached me and said hello. Engel, seeing him after so many years, my heart just stopped. This man has given me the worst pain you could possibly give to a human. I am glad I held my composure. I also said hello back. He tried to have a small talk with me by saying that he is sorry about how things went down and what he said, and also I looked better than the last time he saw me. Then he drops a big bomb. He said all these years he has thought of me, wondering what I was doing even though he is happy with his married life. I was silent. I didn't say a word. He just kept spewing that he misses me and my cooking. My homemade French onion soup is still his favorite. He misses it every time he gets sick with the flu. I didn't know what to say. At that moment, Josh noticed that my ex was making me uncomfortable, and he rushed towards me with a fake emergency. He asked if I was okay. I said yes. After the table setting was done, I was about to leave. That's when I saw my ex-FIL along with other guests. He noticed me and came to give me a hug. My ex-FIL is a very humble man. In fact, he was the only man who was on my side when I was going through a divorce with his son. He looked really happy to see me and asked me how I was. He started to chat with me. I talked to him about my business, and he gave me some advice. He even talked to my boyfriend. He called Josh a pretty standard guy, whatever that means. Ex-FIL was nice and said he would suggest my services to his friends too. He insisted that I stay until lunch is served. I said no a couple of times, but he managed to convince me. I only stayed for 1 more hour or so, but I was fine. I did notice that my ex-spouse was eyeing me from the corner. I was fine because Josh was beside me the whole time. I chatted with some guests. They appreciated my service. I didn't have any more conversations with my ex. I didn't even stay for the cake cutting. I left the first chance I got, but my assistant stayed to make sure everything was fine and for the cleanup. It was overwhelming for me. I saw some of my old friends and my in-laws. My MIL avoided me and some of my old friends just said hello. Later that day, I got a message from my ex-spouse on my work email that she liked my service and that her guests really liked my cakes and desserts. She also said sorry. That's not where it ends. I got to know from my friend Marie, who is still in contact with some of my old friend group, that my ex-spouse is not happy with her marriage. When my ex and her are in public, they would often fight a lot. They'd also fight on the day of their kid's birthday. So I just told her to not bring me the gossip about her. But the silver lining is I got a huge fat check lol. I can finally buy a new sugar printer or maybe a good quality oven. Also, I just want to appreciate my boyfriend Josh. He has been incredibly supportive of me. He has protected me from my ex and ex-spouse like a knight. I think he deserves his own cake from me, and I know a lot of you told me not to take it. But I guess I am just a greedy Mr. Krabs who cares more about the money rather than being classy. Hey. But this is the last time I will be taking any orders from them. I know they have a 3-year-old daughter whose birthday will be in 2 months. I think they might try to hire me again. I will not take it if that happens. P.S. Yes, my ex-spouse did try to communicate with me during the party, but I managed to avoid it thanks to Josh and my ex-FIL. My ex-FIL knows about my situation and my discomfort with my ex-spouse. He kept me busy with small talk. Do not forget to subscribe and leave comments. Videos are released every day.